Edu, now it's your turn. Welcome authors to Next Level Writing. In this video, we will be explaining how to write a horror story in 5 paragraphs. This is a great guide for those authors looking to write an engaging and terrifying short story. Before we begin, remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. A screaming shout out to Izzy, Natasha, and Ella for requesting this video. To start, we need to understand what the horror genre is all about. Horror is about fear. It is about capturing that emotion and putting it on display for a reader. Unfortunately, horror can sometimes be mistaken for gore. That is simply not the case. With this in mind, to write horror successfully, we need to capture fear. This is easier said than done, but don't worry, that is why we are here. First things first, let's make a plan. For our plan, we are going to break our story up into paragraphs 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to figure out what we need to put in each paragraph. Get ready, because this is where it begins. For our plan, in paragraph 1, you need to think of the name of the main character, an object that is important to them, and something they are afraid of. For paragraph 2, you need to think about the impact that the fear has on the character. Make sure to come up with lots of words to describe how they feel. For paragraph 3, I want you to think about a situation where your main character would encounter the thing that they fear. In paragraph 4, remember the object that you mentioned in paragraph 1 and describe why your character has a strong connection to it. Remember to make it important. And for the last paragraph, you need to simply decide, is your character going to win or lose? This will make sense at the end of this video. And that is your plan. Remember that this is going to be important to refer back to throughout the writing process. If you ever get lost, look back at the plan. Now let's look at the plan and how that relates to your writing more specifically. In paragraph 1, it is all about being introduced to the main character. In the introduction, you must also make reference to the object and their fear. For paragraph 1 to be successful, you need to include an introduction to the character, just a brief reference to the object, and end the paragraph by announcing the fear. In paragraph 2, you really need to focus on the fear experienced by your character. You must get inside your character's head and describe how they feel and why. For paragraph 2 to be successful, you must really focus in on the impact on the fear. What does your character do when they're afraid? Do they shake? Do they freeze? It also can be optional for including a history of the fear, maybe explaining why they have the fear in the first place. In paragraph 3, we are thrown into a situation. This situation should be realistic, and you may have to add a few introduction sentences to set the scene. This paragraph will probably be longer than your last two and must end with your character realizing their object is lost. In paragraph 3, you must have a description of the situation. Make sure to spend some time here, and then finish on the character realizing that their special object in paragraph 1 has been lost. Paragraph 4 is all about the object. Remember that you only mentioned it briefly in paragraph 1, so now's the time to add more detail. Describing the object and explaining what makes it so special to our character is a good starting point. This paragraph must end with the realization that, to retrieve their object, our character must face their fear. For paragraph 4 to be successful, you must have a history of the object, your character searching for the object, and end with the realization that they must face their fears. And now the final paragraph, where everything you've been building up to comes together. At the start of this paragraph, you need to begin with your character encountering their fear. Remember paragraph 2 of your story and how your character reacts. Then, you need to make your character realize that the object is more important than the fear that they are experiencing. After this, your character needs to muster up the courage to overcome their fear and get their object back. The last thing now that they need to do is win or lose. Refer back to your plan if you have forgotten. If you chose win, Your character will no longer be afraid of their source of fear. Your character has grown, and you can finish your story on that note and explain that they no longer have that fear. If you chose to lose, then your character may still be afraid of the source of their fear, but they have now got their object back. That means that as a writer, you can focus on the relief that they are feeling that they have retrieved their beloved treasure. To sum up, paragraph 5 must have the character encountering the fear, their character overcoming their fear, and whether they won or lost. And that's that, a horror story in 5 paragraphs. Go and give it a try, and remember to check out the Next Level Writing website. As always, remember to like and subscribe and continue taking your writing to the next level.